Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Refined Alchemist. It's been a very interesting last couple years. I've endured a lot of shit over these last couple years. Shit that most people they don't have to deal with. And yet I'm supposed to function as a normal citizen. My channel has severely suffered because of the specific content that I put forth. Still to this day, I revoke Satan, Lucifer, Shemzayel, whatever the fuck you want to call this son bitch. He's a fucking pussy, just like I've said in every goddamn video. Just like I said in every other video, if he wasn't a pussy, well, here I am, right? My terms are still the same. Equal playing field in every way, shape, size, form, no tricks, no bullshit, and let's do it. I'm in a fucking cemetery. This channel has gotten hit in ways that only a couple channels really got hit with. You actually have to go back and watch some of my older videos. I never told my story. And I think this is kind of like one of the better times of doing such things, right? It's obviously it's coming to a close, and I'm not for the faint of hearted. Now I'm right around the corner from my house, less than a mile. Kind of going through some shit just like everybody else, so I figured I would come out here and clear my head. I brought a little bitch drink beer with me. You might see me drinking on it throughout the course of this video. Look, you know, I was asleep at one time too. Right? I was ignorant. I didn't know. I never did research, you know. I went with the grain just like everybody else, right? I listened to what our ignorant parents taught us, what our ignorant schools taught us, what ignorant society taught us, right? And they didn't teach us a fucking thing. The only thing they did was take our creativity and the ability to think for ourselves away. There was the whole point of the so-called education slash AKA indoctrination system. But anyway, moving on. I was caught up in the same shit. But ever since I was little, I was always the divergent. Right? I was always the motherfucker that went against the grain. Like, he didn't want to be programmed. Like, he's seen what was going on with everybody else. And in fact, when I was very young, and this is a fucking true story, and this could be validated. When I was very young, I had a very creative mind. And creative to the point that my school had actually hosted an essay writing contest, right? Basically, not an essay, but a short story writing contest. And I can't remember exactly how young I was, but I was fucking young. Okay, I was really fucking young. So there's actually two morals to this story. So I wrote a story about a tornado when I was younger. And the premise of the story was this tornado landed and picked up a house and moved the house a significant distance away. And obviously, you know, the family was uprooted, right? So they were always on the lookout for their old house. Obviously, they got resettled, yada fucking yada. One day they're driving some obvious distance from their house, and they stumble across their old house. Right there, you could obviously look at and tell that it wasn't built there. Like, it was dropped there. Like, there was damage, but there wasn't crazy damage. So the family pulled up to the house to explore the house, and they realized that another full family had actually moved in, and they established it as their dwelling, and they were fixing it up, and they were yada yada yada, and they actually became friends. Now, I guess the story was so well written that the school had gotten it published in one of the local newspapers at the time, somewhere. I've been around so many different places throughout my life. I would have to look it up again and see if I could actually locate it, because that would actually be kind of interesting if I could locate, because everything was documented, right? Quote unquote, supposedly. So that'd be kind of cool if I could actually come up with that story. I've tried to rewrite that story a couple times throughout my life, and it never turned out quite the way it did the first time. Like, they always say the original is the best, and yeah, even with my story, yeah, that was 100% true. I've also wrote 3 books. Yeah, they've already been written. Novels, quote unquote novels. I mean, each one was at least 300-400 pages. Very in-depth characters. I've had a couple people actually read them. Yeah. Let's not talk about those. Those are they were destroyed. My point is when we were younger, we had crazy creativity, and not just creativity, but some of us had, you know, even abilities. We were clairvoyant. I had a lot of abilities. We were clairvoyant, so like we saw different perspectives of the same situation at the same time. And so we were able to see like different points of view, different perspectives, different angles, all at once. Uh, One of my more useful, what is it called? Empathy. I'm hardcore empath, which means that it's really hard to lie to me. Like I kind of sense your emotions, but it's a little bit deeper than that. It's kind of hard to explain. I also believe there was a lot more gifts that I had that were suppressed. I have more gifts, but whatever. You know what your gifts are a lot from your dreams. Right? Your dreams. Like if you're able to teleport, you'll teleport in your dreams. If you're able to fly, you'll fly in your dreams. If you're able to morph reality, shape reality, change reality, you'll be able to do that in your dreams. That's a rare gift, and that doesn't happen very often. But there's a lot of gifts. You know, when I made my video, the difference between meditation and magic, that was a pretty powerful video. What I was trying to say in that video is like, long story short, is if you train yourself with meditation and you know what the righteous path is, and you know that there is a spiritual war going on between heaven and hell, you know what free will is. And to this day, since I started this shit, nobody really talks about free will and how powerful free will was. And the minute I started talking about free will in my videos, that's when my fucking channel got fucked up. Go back, watch all my older videos. The ones that show you how my channel got fucked up are still up. The ones that showed you how to protect yourself medically, those have been pulled down. So all the medicine videos that I had originally, which hence the name The Refined Alchemist, right? Those have all been pulled. It's kind of ironic. Why were they pulled? Right? Because they don't give a fuck about the people. Right? Look at everything. Tell me in one way how do they give a fuck about you? Please. I won't hold my breath. Fuck that. You know, I was ignorant. I really was. I was just like everybody else, y'all. I followed along. I let them try to indoctrinate me. That didn't work. Right? I rebelled the fuck out of indoctrination. Right? So they tried to medicate me. They pumped me full of Ritalin since I was young. Like, I'm talking about like first grade, second grade young. The maximum dose, 40 milligrams twice a day. Do your research. That is ludicrous. That's like a fucking gram of crystal meth. I know because I've done them both. $40 milligrams of Ritalin. Now, there was a leak on what Ritalin was and how it operated. So there was a cry out against parents, parents against the system. So they kind of moved away from the Ritalin, and then they started creating Ambien, which is literally the same fucking thing. Now, Ambien was a little bit different though, because Ritalin didn't try to knock you the fuck out, right? And Ambien, when I took Ambien, it didn't knock me the fuck out either. It was literally like I just did a line of crystal meth. I was fucking zinging. Right, now when you crash, that's when you need to go to sleep. Now, when you crash, you don't go to sleep, yeah, that's when bad things happen, right? Delirium. Look up delirium. The difference between tripping on acid and delirium is when you're tripping on acid or any other psychedelic, you can mentally tell yourself, hey, listen, I just took some fucking weird shit and now I'm seeing shit. Where on delirium, no, you're seeing the most vivid shit you have ever seen in your life, and nobody and nothing is going to tell you that's not real. Right, so you see a giant spider coming down the street. There's a giant spider coming down the street, and nobody's telling you otherwise. I've been there. My record of staying awake on crystal meth was 27 days. I fucking counted them. My brain snapped in ways that most people could not recover from. I was in a state of delirium like you could not believe. That's a story for another day. Something happened to me a long time ago. It started me on there's no way to fucking word it, because in order to be enlightened, you have to find out what the dark soul is. You got to do a lot of fucking serious digging, right? The path of enlightenment is not what it's cracked up to be in most aspects. You'll be singled out, you'll be ridiculed, you'll be scoffed, mocked. right? But if you actually listen to people and the wisdom, there's actually a lot of tactical and logical shit from your AKA conspiracy theorists. And no matter how far out the box it is, because I could get way the fuck out the box. So, some years ago, I hurt, well, a few lifetimes ago it seems, I hurt my shoulder when I was in the military. And that's why this bone sticks up and this one doesn't. Because I damaged this bad boy in basic training. In fucking basic training, and yet I still had to pass basic training with a fucked up ankle that I fucked up literally 3 weeks prior to leaving for basic training, which I actually have the fucking nasty scar, which this is actually a good camera. I might be able to pick up the scar. And a fucked up shoulder. I had to pass basic, so I had to pass running, which was my ankle, and I had to pass push-ups, which is my shoulder. Rough. Fucking rough. And it actually hurt my shoulder, what was it? Almost a month before graduation. They were actually gonna hold me back and make me go with the next class because of my injury. And I told them, no, you're not doing that. And they're like, what do you mean we're not? We have to do that. So that's when I hit them with full disclosure, which was, hey, listen, bitches, I'm not the average Joe. And they're like, yo, what do you mean? So I showed them my ankle. And when I showed them my ankle and they saw the scar, well, it wasn't even a fucking scar. It was almost still a wound. They looked at that shit and they were like, wait, what? Like, bro, you're barely just got the stitches out and you're running, marching, soldiering. What? So I looked at him and I'm like, yeah, so what do you think I'm going to say about my shoulder? And they looked at me and I'm like, bro, you're a one determined motherfucker. And I'm like, no, I just don't like to fail. Just don't like to fail. So they slapped a band-aid on a sucking chest wound and kicked me the fuck out the door. They gave me what I wanted. And I passed, obviously. I did 10 fucking years. Now, because of that same injury after I got out of the Army, my now ex-wife decided that I should go to the VFW to get my shoulder looked at, because it's obviously it's fucked up. It bothers me all the time. I just shut pain receptors off. right? Because everything hurts all the time. Like, I feel like I'm a Klingon from Star Trek. Right? And when they did the physical on the one Klingon, they're like, yo, your pain is it's in uncharted territory. Like, we don't even have a number to describe the amount of pain you're feeling. They're like, yeah, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I feel great. And they're just looking at him like, what? Yeah, we have a high tolerance to pain, so you could cut our arm off and we wouldn't give a fuck. And just look at it like, okay, next. But one day, out of the blue, it literally felt like somebody was taking a fucking spoon in my shoulder blade, like right back here somewhere, right? Like, this is all infused. I could feel it. It's all one solid mass. But it felt like somebody was taking a spoon, a red hot spoon, and like was digging for something. I don't know. And I was complaining to my ex-wife at the time, or my wife at the time, and she like I said, she mentioned, hey, listen, let's go to the VFW. So I'm like, oh man, I don't have like all my proper paperwork and shit. It's gonna be a clusterfuck. Like, I automatically didn't want to do it. You know, typical guy. Like, no. Typical female. She drugged me. Kicking and fucking screaming the whole time. She drugged me. Of course, I had to fucking drive, right? So we get there. To make a long story short, they said that they couldn't fucking help me because obviously I didn't have the proper paperwork. But they used my free will against me, right? This is why I keep this story is why I keep preaching about free will. Because of this exact incident right here. The doctor came to me and he's like, hey, listen, we can't help you the way that you need to be helped, bottom line, because you don't have the paperwork validating what it is that you're claiming. I tried to contact my unit. They get my paperwork, and they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself. So all my paperwork is fucking right. So I can't get validated fucking help for my shit, right? Good old Uncle Sam, 10 years of service, go fuck yourself, right? Thanks. No matter what I endured to try to get in, which I tried to get in with a fucked up ankle, which I can validate very easily, and a fucked up shoulder, which I can also validate very easily. And most motherfuckers would have tapped the fuck out. I quit. I'm done. Not me. What? I gotta run 5 miles? Let's do it. I don't see any other motherfucker doing what I do. So the doc comes finally, right? And he's like, hey, listen, I can give you a shot. Now I'm thinking cortisone shot. So I asked him, like, what? Like a cortisone shot? Like, I'm not gonna feel anything for a while? Like, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. He's like, no, it's not a cortisone shot. He's like, it will help with the pain though, but it's gonna hurt. Wait, what? So I come here because my shit hurts, and you want to give me a shot that's gonna cause even more pain? But it's supposedly supposed to make me feel better. See, now my shoulder's hurting because of fucking I'm reliving it. Oh my god. Oh, my shoulder. Yeah, my shoulder's kind of getting fucked up because I'm fucking rethinking this shit. So the doc's like, yo, like I said, I can give you this fucking shot. It's gonna cause a little bit more pain, but it should help with the pain. And like a fucking ignorant asshole, and said, yeah, go ahead, doc, shoot me up. Shoot me up. Fuck it. I couldn't at that time understand evil till later in life, until years later. And then looking back at everything, things kind of make sense if you understand things. But at the time, you couldn't, you're ignorant. You know, you think, oh, medical's here to help, right? You're not thinking on the industrial brainwave, right? Like, if the doctor cures you, you stop becoming a patient. So you stop paying. You know, a mechanic, they fix the problem, you stop becoming a patient, right? You stop paying. So they don't fix the problem. They put a fucking band-aid on a sucking chest wound. That's a military term. The sucking chest wound was like you got a punctured lung, right? So that needs a very specific dressing. So putting a fucking band-aid on a very specific dressing is it's like a soup sandwich. Right? So the doc, like I said, he fucking hit me up with this shit. I get out to the vehicle, and that's when it starts bothering me. And I looked at my ex-wife, and I'm like, yo, this shit's starting to fucking hurt. Like, it's starting to burn. Like, I don't know what this is, but this doesn't feel right. I don't know what this is. And I can still validate this story with my ex-wife. So I was driving, and I remember that my arm started hurting so bad. Now I'm used to driving stick, so I always got my left arm up on the wheel and my right on fucking the stick, right? And even if I'm driving an automatic, I got one foot on the brake while kind of hovering over the brake, and that's the only foot I use for brake. And then I got my right foot that I only use for acceleration. And I got used to that, obviously, because the very first car that I ever drove was a stick. So I always got used to that foot play. So, and I even drive automatics almost kind of like a stick too. Like I'll once I drive a vehicle for a while, I'll know when it's about to shift in the gear. When it's about to shift in the gear, I'll let off the gas, let it shift in the gear, and then accelerate again. That's good practice for everybody to start doing, because then you are actually driving the vehicle instead of the vehicle driving you. You are in more control. Anyway, moving on. Kicking rocks, drinking water. So we get to the house, and I'm already fucked. Like, it's I don't know, probably 30 minutes after the injection, maybe 45. We'll say 45. 45 minutes after the injection, and I am couch ridden. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. My ex-wife is bugging the fuck out. She's like, well, what do we do? Do we bring you to the fucking hospital? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Look at what they fucking just did to me. No, that's not happening. So I was basically stuck to the couch for, I want to say a week. And after that week, I mean, I seen myself for the first time in the mirror. Like, for an entire week, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't shit, I couldn't piss, I couldn't move. I literally thought I was gonna die throughout the entire fucking time. And then after a week, because I was visiting my ex at the time, and I guess that time had expired. So no matter how sick I was, it was time to fucking go. And I remember when I finally got back home and I had to take the bus or the train, one of the two, I can't remember. I think it was a bus. Yeah, it was a bus, and it was a transfer too, and that shit sucked because I was fucking sick as hell. When I finally saw myself, I literally looked like death. Like everything was sunken in. I lost crazy fucking weight. There was no color in my skin. It was all gray, and I had bags under my eyes. I literally looked like a skeleton version of myself. And I've already seen that one other time. And I'm like, yo, this is what the fuck, man. This is some fucking bullshit. And it literally took me a month, probably about a month, before I was actually, starting to feel semi-strong. But I wasn't. I really wasn't. I was fucked up. And then some crazy shit started happening to me. The back of my neck. I started getting like these boils on the back of my neck. And I had to dig them open, right? Because they were just, there were like pimples, right? And so there was tissue, but then there was like a hard top, and you had to peel off the hard top and drain. It was a nasty process. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, I've never in my life endured anything like this. Like, I've gotten actual boils on my chest where I've had to lance them with a razor blade and drain them. But this going on with my neck was some new and exciting what the fuck bullshit, right? And I did countless hours of research, and this is at the time of my awakening too, because I couldn't find any explanation of what I was going through at all. Like, I felt like I was being eaten from the inside out. Like, my muscle mass was deteriorating, right? Just severely. Like, I really wish that I had surviving photos of that particular time frame of my life. The only existing photos that I have to this day are the markings that were on the back of my neck and some of the shit, because I didn't post all of it, but I posted some of the shit that I pulled out of the back of my neck. And let me tell you what, I try not to lie in any way, shape, size, or form, but the devil is very elusive, so when I do catch myself, I retract instantly. I pulled so much shit out of the back of my neck that I actually filled a glass small mason jar about that full of crystal shards, glass shards. I don't know how to describe them. But when you shook the glass, it literally sounded like the glass. And I don't know if those are actually in any of my videos. I think in some of my knowledge is power videos, maybe. But I was fucking blown away, right? Um, I had no idea what the fuck was going on with me, but I was literally waking up every single day, like sleeping 23 hours out of the day, and then waking up wondering, hey, am I gonna die today? Like, when am I gonna die? Then the unexpected happened. I received an email. In this email, it told me to research very specific things. And before I named them, which is kind of stupid because I've already got videos that named them. But before naming them, you must understand that 100% of Earth's population is infected with this shit. 100%. Everybody is infected with this shit. One of the telltale signs of being infected with this shit is if you're a younger person and you're experiencing back problems, or what you think are back problems. They're not really back problems, they're kidney problems, which will give you those feelings of Lyme disease, right? Which I know that fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, osteoarthritis, and a few other things to that aspect are all the same thing. They've just been rebranded, right? Something else. So in my research, right, I started messaging random people, asking them what they thought of my condition. I had no outlets at the time, no nothing. Randomly I get an email telling me to research, hey, research this. Literally within seconds of researching that particular topic, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm going through. So I messaged the guy back. I'm like, hey, listen, okay, so I researched what you told me to, and I'm kind of leaning towards the more fucked up version of everything. And he's like, okay. He's like, I can give you a couple pointers on how to take care of yourself. He's like, to what levels do you need, or to what levels are you willing to go? Now, I know that sounds like a brain twister to you, but to me, when I read that, I instantly knew what he meant. And I told him, I'm like, well, hey, listen, this thing is already going to kill me one way or another. So I'm pretty, and I don't know if I still have these emails, but I told him flat out, listen, I'm pretty sure that whatever the cure or whatever it is, it's going to be borderline poison in order for it to work against what I feel like I'm infected with. And I swear to God, he messaged me back in an email saying, very good. And that was it. And I didn't hear back from him for a couple days. A couple days later, he makes a video which is no longer online. But he makes a video talking about turpentine. And I really hate using that word, but that's what society has labeled it. Why? Because society doesn't want you to know that some of the most potent medicines are literally right at your fingertips. And you just gotta have a little bit of knowledge and know-how. And the things like turpentine, they actually turned into poison by adding, well, I mean, look at society. You can't even eat cereal anymore without eating chunks of metal or fucking not pesticides, but what's the other one? Weed killer. So you made a video, and the video was basically called Healing with Turpentine. Now, his video was basically, what you would do is you would take honey, and you would use like 5 parts real honey, and then alright, so what you do is you take a bunch of fucking honey. It doesn't have to be exact measurements, so I don't want you to think it has to be exact measurements. So I have experimented with this quote-unquote turpentine, a very specific turpentine, for a long goddamn time. I've preached about it in many videos. I've treated many things with it. Look at my teeth. Look at that one right here. That one right there. That one up there. That one up there. I don't think you can see these ones. That one right here is a widowmaker. Right here. That is a tooth that had a root canal on it way back when. They put some soft metal in it, and I used iodine to cleanse my blood for a month. Well, iodine neutralizes metal on a cellular level, so what do you think happened to all the soft metal in my mouth? It all fucking deteriorated and fell the fuck out. So I had a big ass cavity, quote unquote, in my back right there, right? So over the last, say, 5 years, since 5G has been turned on, my teeth have been systematically been attacked with frequencies, basically electricity, static electricity, and it's been eating at my teeth. And the only way to kind of slow it down, because there's no stopping it, there's literally no stopping it, but to slow it down, you use alkali things like baking soda to neutralize the electricity being run through it. But if I didn't use baking soda to brush my teeth, I mean, and let's be real, I'm not a dirty person in any way, shape, size, or form, right? So, well, I try not to be, right? So brushing my teeth is important. For what I do, my teeth are actually pretty decent, white, right? Like, there's no crust, there's no fucking bullshit, right? Because I brush my teeth and I take care of myself. So the sheer fact that I have cavities on the fronts of my teeth, and I don't do drugs, right? On the fronts of my teeth, which is the most obvious spot that you would maintain and take care of, It's also the most visible, some of the most visible areas that are, admitted. Like it's the front of your mouth, for the most part. So your mouth is open a lot, right? So like if there was electricity or frequencies hitting you, these would be kind of weak points in your mouth, right? And if you look at them, yeah, they're the furthest parts, right, of an open mouth, right? And they'll probably start working its way in, right, and start fucking yada yada yada. Because none of these teeth back here have been affected yet by it, but these teeth in the front are starting to get infected by it. Why? Because of shit that's out here, your 5G. I could hear it. In fact, there's actually a lot of people that can fucking hear it, right? They label it several different things. One of the biggest things is tinnitus, the ringing of the ear, right? That's one of the biggest names, but no, it is a form of tinnitus because I actually have tinnitus from my 10 years in the military. But that's more of a dampening, pitch dampener, right? Like my tinnitus, for example, is in my left ear because I can hear it right now for the most part, and it muffles bass, right? So it kind of fucks me up because I actually have a deeper voice, right? I have a rumbly, whatever. Bitches describe it to me all the time. I'm sorry. Women, I'm sorry, describe it to me all the time. But it's a very deep voice. I can't necessarily. In my left ear, I don't even really hear my own voice. I have a hard time hearing bassy things out of my left ear. So a lot of times I'd be turning like just the stereotypical. Like, what? Yeah, that's good old frequency. That's your 5G, right? Anyway, moving on. So this Canadian told me to research Morgellons. Right? Morgellons. Morgellons is the worst of the worst, and we are all infected with it. Some are infected with certain aspects of it and more of levels than others. People that suffer from acne, after adolescence, after puberty, right? Because everybody goes through that puberty phase. But people that suffer from quote unquote acne after, that have like hardcores, that's not normal, right? That's your body expelling things that shouldn't be in your body, like metal particulates that the body has no use for but can't digest, right? But gets stuck in the system, right? So just like any other foreign body, the body tries to expel it no matter how painful the route, right? If it's got to go out through your fucking thigh, guess what? It's going out through your fucking thigh. So your body is being hit with 5 different things at the same time, right? The government's figured out a way to use biology as a weapon. That was part of the whole vax bullshit, right? They've been affecting people with the Morgellons for probably about 15 years, give or take. That's when maybe a little bit less than 15 years, but they found that they were able to. Well, they found fungus and bacteria in a cave. They were able to occupy the same area at the same time, which basically was a super whatever at that particular time, because anything you know about a bacteria and a fungus, they can't, and a parasite, they can't operate, or they can't occupy the same host at the same time, because they will deplete the host of nutrients and start fighting each other for that nutrients and wind up killing the host. But this super shit that they found, you can actually have a fungus and a bacteria operating in unison together, and then they just incorporated more shit. Like, they got a nano parasite involved. They actually got nanotechnology involved. And if you know anything about nanotechnology is demonic technology. So that's also small demonic possession if you're not taking care of certain aspects of this shit. It's also a heavy metal poisoning, because that's how they're transferring this shit, using AKA smart dust, using chemtrails, and many other aspects of the shit. So you're being poisoned with heavy metal, a bacteria, a fungus, and a parasite, and a small demonic possession. This is all going on in 100% of the populace right now. 100%. Some of us are experiencing things a lot different than others. There is a lot of people fucking suffering with this fucking disease right now. And it's so funny that if you even mention Morgellons to anything in the medical profession, they instantly sign it off as parasitosis, right? Because that's what they were paid off to fucking call it, is a parasitosis. Listen to me, motherfucker. First of all, I never said shit about bugs or anything else crawling on my face or crawling around my body in any way, shape, size, or form, yada, yada, yada. That's first. Second, a mental disorder does not cause physical symptoms. Okay? So if I was to point to like some of the, I don't know, the little scabby scabs, like that one right there. Let's see. There's more on my back, but I don't know. Yeah, see there. Like, okay, but that one right there. Oh, there's another one. All right, so that one, because that one actually shows up, right? That little bastard has been there for months. Months. Right? Months and months and months and months. And I have another one right on the top. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Now, I have these all over my fucking body. Right? It feels like, oh, yeah, now look at that. That looks sexy. Right? That looks sexy right there. So those things, they turn out to be like fucking pimples, right? So I'll get these pimples one day on all over my flesh, mostly on my back and neck, and the backs of my arms. Those are the my primary areas, but other people are getting much worse, and that's because they don't know how to protect themselves, right? They don't know how to think outside the box. Listen, up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left, black is white. Okay, they completely inverted everything. So what? And I can prove it. Just think, you got more truth in your movies than you do in your news. You got more entertainment in your news, which is fictional bullshit, than you do in your fucking movies, right? So right there's one big flip-flop. Prove me wrong. Right? So going back to my story, yeah, so I remember the chain of events of what actually transpired, you know, how I went to go seek help. I free willingly consented, hey, yeah, hit me up. And they almost killed me because of my free will, my consent, right? And if it wasn't for me being able to think outside the box on the situation and the things that were presented to me, I would be a dead man already. In fact, they tried to kill me one other time afterwards too, and I picked up on that also, and they tried to legit slow poison kill me. And I see my health deteriorate once again, and I had to remove myself from that particular situation. And that was a family member that's on the inside that's proud to state that they're a fucking Freemason. Well, they call themselves an Eastern Star bitch, but yeah, they're a Freemason. And that's out their mouth, not mine.